Hello. So today I am doing the hashtag year ahead reading 2023. I saw this sort of like yearly spread video on Amidst the Grey. So I thought I'd show you how, look, little rainbow, I do my yearly spreads. So I'll start by showing you the month by month pull. So I call this like my wheel of the year spread, and I will pull one card for every month. You might have noticed that there are multiples of the same tarot cards, and that is because once I pull a card for 1 month, I put that card back in the deck. Because for me, I want the tarot to pull the card that has the most precise reflection of that energy or theme. And I don't want it to be limited because I've already pulled the perfect card for a previous month. So I want it to be able to pull the exact card. And that way too, as you can see, the Magician and the Queen of Cups are obviously very prominent themes in my year ahead. So it sort of very easily highlights my attention to particular energies or threads. And I then look at the cards as a whole and I see how many major arcanas are there. Do they lean more heavily to one court than the other? I also look at the numbers to see, are there any repeating numbers? As you can see, I've got a few 8s and a few 3s. That's how I do my wheel of the year. And then I also pick a word of the year. And for me this year, my word is intention. So that's my wheel of the year spread. And then I found this Witch's New Year Tarot spread. I think it was from Lakshmi Rose. So this is how they did it. As you can see, some of the cards are double up, like there's 2 falls. So for me, I did 1 tarot and 1 oracle, and it's the same for like hearth and home. For me, I just combined that to mean like home and family, and I pulled 1 tarot, 1 oracle. And I thought I would go through it and sort of show you how I gather like my meanings for this particular spread. So I look at it first overall, and I can see in my pulls that I have a lot of swords and wands, so a lot of air and fire energy, so like energetic, change, logic, action, creativity, possibly competition might be, you know, themes. I could see that there were a lot of number 4s. I had literally 3 out of the 4 4s from the courts, and so for me that means there'll be a lot of stability and perhaps contentment in this year ahead. Excuse me, darling. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start with my theme of the year. And with my theme, I pulled 4 of Wands and I pulled Joy. So I'm using the Dreamkeepers Tarot for my tarot, and for the Oracle, I'm using the H.O.M.E Oracle. So with 4 of Wands as an overall theme, I'm going to say I was pretty happy, and pairing it with Joy, like, are you kidding me? What a great theme. I was like hoping this year would be one of more brevity and lightness. And it looks like I'm probably going to be celebrating something I've waited a long time for. I look at the images on the cards too when I do this. So this is an oak tree. So I'm guessing like maybe solid foundations, roots are being put down. With Joy, I think combining the two, I'm just going to be surrounded by things or people that bring me happiness. And looking at this picture, it looks like my garden is blooming. So this is a wonderful start for my theme of the year. Just a lot of celebration and joy and fruition. So those were those 2. Next, we have the love portion. So for my love life, this is obviously romantic. I'm viewing it in a romantic sense. I've got the 2 of Wands paired with inspiration. So for me, the 2 of Wands in this aspect, looking at it at the lens of love, I see about making plans together, mapping out the future, maybe increasing commitments. The lady here is wearing a red rose, and red roses to me speak of like passion, and maybe there's a bit of potential here. And then paired with inspiration, with this hot air balloon, I'm seeing maybe there are new adventures together that we're going to be embarking upon. So that's what I've determined from the love portion. And then we have creativity and career. So Four of Pentacles, I know some people might see it more negatively skewed. I see the Four of Pentacles in a positive light. I see it as putting your acorns away for a rainy day, establishing financial security, saving for the future. So the Four of Pentacle cards is always a positive card for me personally. And paired with abundance, like for my creativity and career. So creativity career, I've put towards maybe like my YouTube channel, because it's my creative outlet that I'm using at the moment. It's how I'm expressing my hobbies. So that's what I'm looking at for these cards. So with these two off, I see stability. I see that it's going to pay off possibly down the road. But also looking at the Four of Pentacles, I'm getting the impression that don't use this outlet solely for material gain. There has to be a balance. Like I started this channel just for creativity purposes, so not to get too caught up on the possibility of it perhaps paying off. But paired with abundance, I don't just look at this card, I looked at the imagery, and for me, this is not just a monetary abundance. I see that it's like nourish the wholeness within. So the rabbits are bountiful, and I looked at that in terms of creativity, and so that my creativity will multiply. So the more creative I am, the more creative I am. So that's what I've pulled for those. And then we have money and business. So let's get down to business. I am using this to look at my main source of income is trading. I trade a whole bunch of different financial derivatives. So that's how I make my cash, and that's what I'm looking at for money and business. So with this one, I've got Knight of Swords paired with faith. And with the Knight of Swords, I see swift forward movement, charging ahead, undaunted. You've got ravens. Ravens, for me, are one of my totem animals, and they speak to intuition. And with faith, that's why I got that connection as well. And in terms of trading, it's believing in myself. It's listening to my gut and inner knowing. With a lot of trading, especially like day trading, there are statistical analysis that you can do, fundamental analysis, but at the end of the day, a lot of it is based on believing in myself. And so a lot of the time, I just won't take the shot. I doubt myself, and I'll be too, it's like that whole jumping in, it takes a lot of courage to jump in. And this is telling me, charge ahead, man, like go for it. Don't hold back. Don't be too overly cautious. This is the year of trading fearlessly, of listening to yourself and believing in yourself, and taking the dive, going for it. So I'm really happy these two came up, because there's always like uncertainty with that. I'm like, am I good enough? Even though I am able to live off it, I always doubt myself for some reason. And then we have home and family, and I got Seven of Wands paired with presence. So Seven of Wands in regards to family, it's a feeling of me being overwhelmed by it all, because I don't know about anybody else, but parenting children and being the sole breadwinner and all those things can feel like you're carrying all the burdens. But you persevere because you know it matters. So it's sort of like advocating for my family and doing what I need to take care of everyone, including myself. And with presence, it's a reminder to me to focus on the now, to be in this moment, not to worry about the past, not to fear about the future, because my children just need me right now, and they need me to be here, and I just need to focus on what I can and what I'm doing right now and let everything else go. So that is what this means to me. For travel, I got Two of Swords paired with flexibility, and I had to laugh, because if you know me, you know that if I'm booking a trip, I am going in deep. I am over planning everything to the minutest detail. I will research every single of the 100 hotels. Like, I just go a bit overboard. And sometimes, the whole thing, we make plans and God laughs. Yeah, man, that can be what happens. So with the Two of Swords, indecision. There's a lot of choices that I have to weigh up. That is my mental state when I am planning. And then flexibility is reminding me, like, man, just put your expectations aside and just go on the adventure. Don't overthink it. Like, yeah, have some planning in place, but don't sit there and research 100 hotels. Like pick the top 5 with the best reviews or whatever and just pick one of those. Like you don't need to look through every single option to be certain you've picked the best one. Like it's not so much about that. As you know, with my Byron trip, I planned that, but I couldn't plan for the weather. I couldn't plan for the house. The house's heating not working, the oven and stove not working. Like all these things fell apart, and I had a bit of a breakdown. I was like, I haven't left my house in like 3 years, and I spent all this money and nothing went to plan. And that's why it's like, man, be flexible and don't put all your eggs in one basket, and don't get your hopes too high that this is how it has to go. Be open to the journey, be open to what the universe wants to bring you, and just be a bit more relaxed with your travel planning, Don't be so uptight. And then for my hopes and my dreams, I got the Hanged Woman paired with willingness. So this one I had to sit with it a bit. But for me, basically, the overall message is to surrender to the universe and allow it to guide me to the best outcome. To keep an open mind. I looked at like the image and I saw webs, and that to me is like threads of fate. Like some things sort of, I believe there's like fate and there's free choice, and I believe they sort of meld. It's not just one or the other. But yeah, not being so confined and limited in my human thinking, like this is my dream and it has to be exactly like this. Like focusing more on the energy of how that would feel rather than the absolute specifics. Like for me, for the manifestation, I'm now leaning away from exacts and more to just, broad theme and energy. And with willingness, it's to follow my heart and the divine message that comes across. Everything has its purpose, and what's meant for me will find me. It's a willingness to keep an open mind and to allow things to come and to receive what the universe thinks is for my highest good. And then we have the seasons. So for autumn, I got the moon and awakening. So the moon for me is all about intuition and dreams and getting in touch with my higher self, and it's paired with awakening. So I have this is telling me to use my third eye and to sort of like wake up and not view the world from this belief system, but from a higher belief system. So perhaps autumn for me is going to be a spiritual one, and one where I maybe have upgrades or, like you said, awakenings in terms of my like intuition and my third eye activation. And then we have winter with 4 of Swords and efficiency. And I'm kind of pleased because the cold for me is very difficult to deal with. I have like a lot of health conditions that are flared up with cold weather. So it's giving me 4 of Swords, and I'm like, yes, thank you. Okay, that is perfect. Rest. With the reflection in the water, I'm like, a lot of self-reflection will be happening, reconnection to myself. In the image, you can see a raven, there's a black cat, both of whom are my top 2 totem animals. So for me, that they're like sort of my familiars. So I might be expecting some divine guidance at this time while I'm doing my inner reflection and sort of recharging. So it's using downtime to recharge. So do what fills me up. And paired with efficiency, it's about using my energy wisely and on the things that matter. So making sure I allocate my energy properly. What is going to give me the biggest bang for my buck in terms of efficiency. So that was that one. And then we have spring with Ace of Swords and love. So I was sort of looking more at Ace of Swords through a love angle, spring angle. So for me, it's like new clarity, new beginnings, maybe planning, thinking clearly, having some breakthroughs. And with the love, I'm thinking self-love, because this is sort of it's got like an independent nature energy to me, taking care of myself. But also to combined communication. So this to me is about having honest exchanges and viewing it through that aspect, maybe giving and receiving. So that's spring. And then we finally have summer, and I got 5 of Swords paired with kindness. So this was quite heavy for me in summer. So it's currently summer, but we also have another month of summer at the end of the year. So I'm like, is it about the start of the year or could it be the end of the year? We'll have to wait and see. But 5 of Swords with kindness. So I was looking at this together and I'm thinking it possibly might mean empathy with an adversary or walking away from what no longer serves me. Let go and let live, that sort of energy. And with the octopus in the picture, I'm thinking like adapt, you know, sort of you might have to change course and, you know, walk away because of the kindness angle. So the forgiveness seems to come to mind, like forgiving either myself, forgiving others, having compassion as well. There might be, you know, a need for me to have compassion, but to be my truest self. So to be myself and to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And that maybe this, whatever is going on, isn't the time to engage in battle. Maybe because of the other person, like to look at the other person as a fellow, you know, soul or whatever the situation is, and look at it with the lens of kindness and acceptance. So this one, yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out. So my plan is to each month, besides the year ahead spread with my wheel of the year, I like to then go into each month. So with the monthly spread, I have the year of the wheel of the year card as an overall theme, which say for January is 8 of Wands, which is very apt. January is always my busiest month. So to have that, and then I do a further pull. I will pull health, wealth, love, and spirit. And then I'll also pull 1 tarot card and 1 oracle card and 1 from the sovereign. So I've got like my word of the month as well. And then I sort of, from these cards, I pull 3 keywords. I'd like pick 3 keywords to like epitomize the month. And then I also do a little self-care spread underneath to look at what I can do this month to take care of myself. So I'm going to look back at the start of the next month to see like how accurate was it? Do I feel like it was quite divinatory or not? So I'm using this as a sort of guinea pig year to see, are these spreads, you know, accurate, worth doing, or is it just in the moment? It's not actually applicable over a length of time, because also we know like things change continuously based on the choices we make. But yeah, so that is everything for this video. I hope that wherever you are having a gorgeous morning, afternoon, or evening. And as always, stay wild, star child.